Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Casey. How are you?
As good as one can be. How are you?
You're in a caftan, it looks like, and I feel like that's a nice look for you.
Thank you. I've been wearing this a lot. When everyone's like, you should be getting dressed and putting on jewelry and being your best self, I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
I can't even be bothered to put on my wedding ring. Like, I'm just like...
I'm going jewelry free in the queue. Sorry, I was so angry right off the bat. I'm actually in a great mood. I'm happy to be here.
Me too. I'm happy to be with you. We had a lovely week with Sonia Morgan last week, and that was a true treasure that I'll never forget.
It was beautiful. It was truly beautiful.
And she is you guys, even through a Zoom with no makeup, just gorgeous.
Gorgeous. I'll say New York is bringing me so much joy. Like when I sit down to watch that show, Beverly Hills, I'm like, we'll see what we have. Let's get to the other stuff.
I'm newly in on Beverly Hills.
Okay, I love it.
I didn't have great hopes for it, but there is, maybe because I know what's a brewing, but even last week with like Aaron and Denise and him going off on that crazy monologue about people, like the paparazzi chasing them
spaceships and
we want to get cancer. And I was like, I'm on a ride and I don't want to get off.
Yeah. And Maurizio being like, far out, man.
Hi, Mauricio. I love more than I've loved any.
I love it. Yeah, I hear you. I just think there was something about when I sat down to watch New York today that I was like, I'm really living. Like, I'm alive.
I love New York. It never disappoints. Even Jacques' return was a surprise, and I was happy for it. And her revisiting the pirate, whether she fucked the pirate or not, and Jacques, it was all a joy.
It was all a joy.
Seeing old friends is always fun.
It's nice to see old friends like Jacques. Danielle, we have a huge show today. We have such an amazing guest that I just want to make a quick announcement before we get right to him.
Please do, yes.
We've created a t-shirt, Danielle, where all proceeds, and I do mean all proceeds, go to No Kid Hungry, which is a wonderful program trying to supplement kids who are missing out on their much needed lunches in the public school systems. And it's an incredible organization. And so we've created a t-shirt that we find fun. And it's also, we've got t-shirts, sweatshirts. We don't know what you need in these times.
But
you need
something
comfy. You need something comfy. And so it is one of our favorite lines from the season. And we really did debate because part of us was like, there's a vibrator in the chicken? You got to catch a D on your way out? There was a lot.
Yeah. So many great lines. But this one really, I've been saying it all week.
Me too. And that's simply good night from the lower level. And the design is fantastic.
It really is. We'll post it on our Instagram so you'll be able to see the design. But
it's genuinely so cool. I'm excited. Good night from the lower level. Luann's famous lines to Ramona.
And I'll be wearing it when I say goodnight to my husband, and I will be on the lower level. So it'll be fantastic. Everyone should do it. And again, all proceeds go to No Kid Hungry.
Danielle, let's bring our guest, not our next guest, our only guest, the only guest we'll ever need.
Our only guest
that we did have to apologize for a few of his comments after the fact. But you know what? And we may again today, but he is a dear, dear, dear friend. My husband's best friend.
I adore this man. Yeah, he's one of the funniest, smartest human beings on the planet.
And the nicest.
Yes.
Despite whatever he may say, he's a gem. He's a stand-up. He's a writer. He's an actor. I mean, he's everything. Here he is, back again. The incredible, hilarious, and very much requested guest to come back, Yassir Lester.
It almost feels like, and this could be the wrong thought a little bit, but you know how like men's rights dudes are like, that person like tells it like it is. That's who we like. It feels like the people who listen to y'all's podcast who are like afraid to say certain things, like that's how they feel about me. Like I'm like they're like Jordan Peterson, like they're Joe Rogan. I'm like sensitive Joe Rogan.
Ricky Gervais, like he just says it like it is.
God, not for me.
Look, you brought some truths and they were controversial.
Definite controversial statements.
Yeah.
You know what? In this time of a global pandemic, I'm like, who the fuck cares? We have bigger fish to fry.
We certainly do.
Well,
what's going on in this tumultuous world?
It's easier to scream into the void because, like, we all have to just stay inside anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to face anybody.
We're all in the void together now.
It was weird because I ventured out today. I mean, in my car, in my bubble of protection.
Yeah.
But I did venture out today, and it feels like anytime I'm out, I feel so crazy. Like I'm seeing light for the first time. It's so strange.
How are you doing, Yassir, in this time?
Number one,
Oh.
thank you for asking, Case.
Yeah.
I will say I didn't ask because I don't care, but go on.
We speak a little more often than me and Case face here. But me and Chelsea got a dog, and
he's so cute. He's so
cute. But well, here's the thing. If we didn't have him, I would not be out in the world. Like you, Danielle, like you, Casey, it freaks me out. People are weird. And like, I feel like people are smoking cigarettes again. And like, they're just blowing clouds of coronavirus into the air. And now
mixed
I'm just
with
like,
nicotine. Don't forget about the dangers of nicotine.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just like really, I'm not feeling the city of LA right now in a way.
Yeah.
You know, I really like, I'm like, oh, I should just like live in like Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or like Salt Lake City in a suburb and just be away from everybody.
But do you want to live where the throngs are like, it's time for us to get back out there? It's like, it's absolutely like, I so get the economic implications. Like, I want the world to turn again. People have to work. I totally get that. But it's like the rabid protesters that I'm just like, oh, you're going to kill us all. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have to listen to epidemiologists, not just
Danielle.
economics, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we have to...
Epidemiologists.
Yeah, listen to Danielle. Guys. It's about economics versus epidemiologists.
Yes, girl.
Guys, I have a BFA in drama. I know some things. Just saying.
Wow. Here's the thing, and I get it too. Like I've talked to like my mom about it and my friends about it. Like the idea of this happening like 6 years ago, it would have killed me. Truly, I just had no money. There was nothing that I could have done to like save my life. I just would have had to have been out in the world working. Yeah. So I feel very blessed, very fortunate.
Because there's so much privilege with being able to stay home.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
absolutely
such a fucking privilege. If you can, you have to actually.
Yeah, that's another reason why if you can stay home, you should stay home.
Right. But that's the issue is that like the people that absolutely can feel as if their rights are being infringed upon because they have a certain level of success or a station in life that tells them that accessibility to everything at all times is what defines them, and the fact that they don't have that anymore, it really makes them freak out. Anyway,
yeah, that lack of control.
Yeah,
it's so fucked up.
Yeah, I'll say this though. This is so pitiful, and will automatically like kind of retract everything I've said already. The other day, I'm walking the dog. I'm masked up, but like I think if you cover my mouth and nose covered, you can still kind of tell who I am. This guy,
you're Yassir Lester.
You as a stand-up,
yes.
As one of the stars of Black Monday, everybody can tell that.
Have people been recognizing you from Black Monday when you're in your mask?
Well, here's the thing. It's a reverse of what I'm usually covering the top of my head. And now
people don't recognize.
No one knows.
That
it's like
top.
I'm always like this puzzle to be put together.
Sorry to cut you off. Okay, what were you saying?
So I'm walking, mask on, walking the dog. There's this dude just like, it's 8:30 in the morning. He's shredded, no mask, barreling towards me. And I'm just like, oh God, here we go.
Oh God,
and he's
here
like
it
not
is.
moving off the sidewalk, and I'm just like, this sucks. So I'm about to stand off, or like move to the side, and he goes, "You're Yassir Lester. I love your work." And I like fully pull my mask down, like, "What's up? Thank you. Oh my God, should we kiss?" Like, I mean, like, I was
you're gonna get corona just because someone liked you enough to recognize.
I mean it to anyone listening. If you want to get me sick and you have coronavirus, compliment me, and I will I will inhale your sneeze.
You will fuck them.
I will shotgun a cough.
Oh God.
I love this story so much. Barreling towards you as a fan.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, can I ask which of your performance he complimented? Many? All?
He didn't say, and that's the best part. Because so many times people will say, they'll like start the compliment, and then they'll be like, Twitter. And I'm like, no.
Like that's like
the easy.
Actually, not saying to me implies your body of work.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I like the idea that
Everything.
he's like, oh, this
The
is
whole
just
of you.
Yassir. This is just Case. This is just Danielle.
Yeah, he was willing to risk his own life to tell you that.
I know, but
well, really yours though.
yeah,
I think you get the
because he was
brunt
never
of
wearing
it.
a mask.
He was always
right. He was out open
flowing
and
free. I have been very passive aggressive with my friends and neighbors in terms of the mask wearing, because I wear mine, like I'm wearing mine at like 6:30 in the morning when I'm walking the dog. Like, and there's not a soul out, but I'm like, I got it just in case.
Yeah.
You know, I might pull it down for a sec, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's ready and waiting.
Yeah.
And I have found other neighbors or people in my neighborhood not to be doing that. And so I was on the phone with my mask on talking, and I saw a mother-daughter team just walking around and not wearing their mask and not having one to put on and not acting as if it was a big deal. And I said,
at least have one around your neck.
Yes. And I said into my phone call, well, there are these people here not wearing masks, so I got to move very loudly for them to hear.
I love it so much.
I like that.
Yeah. I've only yelled one comment behind me because, like, I'm taking walks with my kids, and I just yelled to these, like, again, 2 female power walkers, no masks, nor were they taking pains to avoid my son and I.
Exactly.
And I just yelled, making my 5-year-old wear one. You can too.
Nice. Yes. Yes.
I think a fucking 5-year-old wants to wear a mask.
No.
It's all entitlement.
My daughter has literally said she would rather not, like, I'm like, oh, why don't we'll go outside and we'll do this thing, but you have to put a mask on. She's like, I'll stay in. She's just not.
And you know what? Great. If it drives people back in, great.
I fully yelled at a family, like kids, parents, because here's what happened. And then
we know that you don't value children, so that is not a shock.
I was actually yelling at the dad, but the kids were there. Like, I wasn't screaming at the kids.
The head of household.
Yes.
There's 2 very elderly people with walkers on the sidewalk, the tennis balls, all of it. You know what I mean? Like, they were doing it.
They're not messing around.
They've been old
they were
for a
like,
minute.
we're old.
Yeah,
they cannot pick up speed on that thing.
Not even close. They're wearing masks and they're trying their hardest to, like, get to wherever they're going. Clearly, this family is just very la-di-da, no mask around the neck. It looked as if they didn't even understand the concept that people were wearing masks out in the world.
Right.
Like, they were just like on a beach day, and they fully just like they like go around the elderly family, but like split around them. So they kind of like
so they get covered in corona. Yes. The old people are encircled in corona.
And so then they start walking towards me because I had seen because they were in front of me. And so as they started getting close to me, I was like, put your fucking mask on. Like, those people are the ones that are in danger. And then it becomes like we weren't trying to. And I was like, I don't care. Like, the chances of this happening are very high. Like, and it doesn't matter that you'll be fine. Like, I just don't understand the concept of just like, if you wear this one thing, someone probably won't die. Like, it just seems so easy to me.
Well, was the family trying to compliment the old people? Like Helen Mirren and Anthony Hopkins shuffling along.
Oh my God, are those Wilson tennis balls? We love those for your walker.
It truly is insane. Like, and people on Nextdoor in my neighborhood, they are going crazy, and I am laughing at like the comments people are.
Oh yeah, Nextdoor is having a wild time right
Nextdoor Super Bowl. But someone was writing, and like, it's not wrong, but it was so insane. He was like unhinged, but he's like, just know if you're walking without a mask, like, you're committing manslaughter. You could be committing manslaughter. But like, he's also not wrong.
Right.
Like, if you have corona, and the thing is, people think they don't, and they might. And how dare you, because you want to go out with no mask, like, overwhelm like first responders and people who are fucking giving their lives. I know everyone already makes these points, and it's just maybe stupid to rehash it, but it makes me so angry.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite thing on the Nextdoor app is, it used to be, at least in my Nextdoor app in the Valley, Casey, is that it was all like, if you leave your cat outside and it gets taken by a coyote, you murdered your cat. Like, it was always like people being like, well, again, like people would be like, has anyone seen my cat? And they're like, murderer. Like, it was.
You can't even ask if anyone's seen the cat.
No. If your cat goes lost, just bye-bye. Because you cannot post it on Nextdoor because people will just blame you. And it's bloody. And so that has turned into, no one's doing that anymore. If you lose, now is the time to post about your cat. People are like, oh, everybody, so sorry about your cat. But now it's all about masks, and it's all about the grocery store, like,
and murder.
Yeah, exactly. It's been fun to watch that growth on Nextdoor.
I'm in West Hollywood, and the app that everyone is using is called Citizen.
Oh, I don't know about that.
This one is like apparently just directly crimes. Because like it'll just be like, man with shotgun outside your apartment. And I'm like, oh, that feels bad. You know?
That doesn't feel right.
And it just keeps happening now to the point where I'm like, oh, we really can't leave like after dusk. And I was like, I didn't think I lived in the ghetto, but apparently I live in the ghetto.
Look, you have to find out sometime.
Yeah.
You know. Oh my God. Yeah, sir. Well, we're glad that you are safe. And I do appreciate you patrolling the streets.
For now.
You know,
for now.
It's been my job for a minute now. I'm just glad that people are taking me serious.
Yeah. Speaking of taking something seriously. Ooh. Shall we?
Beautiful transition.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Danielle. Should we start with Beverly Hills?
Yes, please.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Thank you for getting caught up, Yassir. It means a lot. We know your beautiful, beautiful girlfriend who's been a guest, Chelsea Devontae, is a regular with these shows, so I'm sure it was no hardship for her to watch.
Right.
With you.
But
it must have been fun as a couple to bond and
but it's
drill down.
But it is, there's something about the Real Housewives, just all of it in general, but the Real Housewives and their subsidiaries.
Thank you. Sometimes I just call them like tributaries.
Right, yes. They're satellites, like little, if you will. Yeah.
I mean, we are one such satellite.
Yeah.
We are ambulance chasers.
Oh, very true. I think there's something that, like, with every other show, just like a narrative show, right? You like jump in and you're kind of like, okay, like what's happening? All right, like I get it, you know, whatever. But with these, it feels so made up and I know it's not, but it feels like such a fever dream. You're like, there's no way the person who said this thing 4 minutes ago is now doing this thing, you know? So when you like sit down and watch it, like, and I will say, like I was telling you guys, I really enjoyed this round of watching, and I was like, oh, I think it finally clicked for me in a way that, like, there's a greater thing at play where it's really just about the quest for youth. And I feel like watching it this time, there was, I don't know, like, I don't want to use the term, like, Orwellian, you know, I would hate to throw that kind of language out there, but
I used epidemiologist. Anything's on the table at this point.
You did. But there was something so much greater at play in the mechanics of it, and like I still enjoyed myself, but like the psyche of it is like so insane to me. And so now we're gonna talk about Beverly Hills. Like Dorit, is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
I think that she of all, because I remember last time I came, I had a few other favorites. She, like a rocket, took off and is now my favorite person in any franchise in the history of the show. I am totally and completely enamored with her. I like that.
Wow, and she is widely hated, but I'm starting to come on board with you.
No, I love her. I have not been able to take my eyes off of her since she stepped onto our screens like 3 seasons ago.
Oh my God. I like that she treats it truly like it's theater. Like I've never, because I went back and watched a few specifically because I just was like, who is this goddess? It's a costume change every single time. Like,
and we appreciate that. I need that.
No, like this last episode where she because and then I started following her on Instagram. Like the full Prada jumpsuit, like the 60s inspired, like with the matching headband. You guys know what I'm talking about? It was the one she wore.
Yes, we do. And that one little baby hair coming down.
One single that Kyle's hating ass.
That Kyle was like, oh, let me move this for you. And she's like, no.
You know, and
touch it.
Like, we'll get back to Dorit in a second. But like, and I'm sure someone's already made this observation. We know that Kyle looks like Demi Moore. And then...
No. What?
Yeah, you don't think Kyle looks a little bit...
Now I do, but
I've never thought that.
What's his name? Her husband, Mauricio?
Mauricio
looks like John Turturro. They look like weird, bizarro versions of movie stars. And like, I don't like... And I think because they look like that, they think they have some like ownership over people. I know it sounds crazy, but like But like Kyle coming in and being like, I'm in the next Halloween, and you don't, I don't like that Kyle treats herself as if she is the Dorit when Dorit is actually the Dorit.
Wow. Because a lot of people would say that Dorit is acting like the Kyle when she's a Dorit, and they would do it the other way. But you know what? Dorit is rising as the star of the show.
It's not even close. It's not even close. And then also, like, another dope thing about Dorit has, I was raised around poor people energy, and I like that. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, like, every, like, traditional sitcom where you, like, bring the poor person to like a rich person's party, they're like eating a turkey leg and there's drool everywhere and they're like, I just wish I had a 40. You know what I mean? Like there's like all this madness. That's what Dorit, even though she's not saying that, that's her energy. That's her off-white purse. That's her Balenciaga jacket hanging off her shoulder, showing up to Teddy's meditation retreat.
Oh my God, these are wonderful insights.
You're really bringing it together for me.
And well, let me just ask, where do you find Dorit's accent to come from? Because she was raised in Connecticut, I think, and yet has kind of adopted this, God, I don't even know.
It's sort of just continental
accent.
But here's...
Is that growing up poor, you think?
Yeah, yes, because it's what she thinks rich people sound like.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
This is feeling very like sad.
Yeah. Oh, it's sad for sure. Like, I mean,
no, but I also am admiring it too.
But how do you? And there's a question for you. How are you sad about something and admire it? Like, what's another example of that?
She admires the story, the struggle, where she came from, where she is.
I don't mean sad like pathetic. I mean, like, it makes me feel sad.
Right.
But I also kind of like that she's like, I'm going to take on a weird accent. Yeah.
She's never wavered on that strange accent, though. Not for a minute. It has been consistently strange for 3 seasons.
No, that's it. But that's how she talks.
But that's commitment. That's what I'm saying. That's like, she is truly the total package. Like, and... Hear me out. I feel like she's the antithesis to Denise Richards.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Because Denise Richards is all about, I'm real, baby. You know, I dealt with Charlie Sheen. I'm now fucking this horse dick of a man.
I got my tank top on and my jeans on.
I'm never gonna not be in a bootcut jean to any occasion, no matter how fancy it is.
I'll say this, and like, because what's his name? Aaron? Is that right?
Aaron.
Okay.
That's correct.
Aaron is like the hot dude who went to my high school. You know, Danielle from Georgia. They all had like the hat with like the tattered brim, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And like they're again wearing
but it was professionally tattered.
Right, exactly.
Not by the wind or the elements.
Right. But like handsome but also like fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like you ain't losing it.
The illusion of handsome, but like
exactly.
can't run with the horses of real
exactly.
handsome.
But he does things that like tries to prove that he's like a down to earth guy. Like in this episode, he like comes in like carrying a box of like glasses or something, and someone's like, "Let me help you with that," and he's like, "Nah, got it." And it's just like, why are you doing this, man? Like, no, this is the wrong place to prove that like you don't have servants or whatever, which I don't think they do. But he is perfect for Denise Richards because, and far be it for me to talk about someone's looks, but Denise Richards has kind of, it looks like someone put makeup on her, and then right before she stepped out, someone licked their palm and then just smeared it all to the left a little bit.
You are dead on. I've always been like, huh.
Well, she's beautiful, but she's just like, she's not quite put together.
Right.
Like, it's,
And that's fine. But like, again, it's like, are no mirrors in your house clean? Like, are they all just a little bit fuzzy? So when you look in the mirror, it all looks like the makeup is straight on, but everyone else is like, I don't know. Like, it's so weird that this is like, I was watching it and I was just like, she's in one of my favorite movies, which is Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh, I love that movie, and she's so good in it. Yeah,
it's just, I don't know, like, And Garcelle Bouvier. Anyway, sorry, Casey.
Oh, she's
Garcelle. I love Garcelle.
Here's the thing.
Gorgeous.
I love her. And look, can I say something about Garcelle? Because huge fan.
Can you?
Huge fan from back in the day, especially like Jamie Foxx show. All of it. Love her. The eyeliner. Like, it feels like someone just needs to come in and go like, hey, baby girl, this ain't your eyeliner.
What? I thought she was gorgeous.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't think she looks absolutely beautiful with her like pink lip and her red lip?
No. Here's the thing. All of that is good except the eyeliner, I think, is a little bit, I don't know. I just like, here's the thing. I want to only talk about the dudes of Vanderpump Rules. That's why I'm on here. But because we're talking about Beverly Hills first, I felt like I needed to, like, you know.
No, I mean, and we have so much to say about them, so we can absolutely breeze through this. Can I ask, what do you think of Teddy?
Yo, so I have so many questions because again, I did like go back a few episodes, but like when they like in this newest one where they when Dorit confronts Kyle and she's like, you never just speak for yourself, or Teddy never just speaks for himself.
Yeah, you always
and you like see it happen in real time. I will say the one thing that these seasons have been doing, and I don't know if it's always been the case, but these recent seasons that you guys had me watch, it feels like they're very good about like roll the tape. That was a lie. Like, I don't know if that's always been a thing, but
otherwise
like,
they'd have like 20 minutes of footage.
Right,
They
have to roll the tape.
Gotcha.
All the time, constantly.
Who's the poor soul that has categorized like every line of contradiction?
Well, I wonder, and like, are they filed away in like different, like, you know, Finder files, which is just like Teddy being annoying. That's
people find like gardening meditative. I would find it so meditative to go through every show and just categorize, like, Dorit slightly passive aggressive, like fun moment. Like, it would just be so much fun. I will say Teddy to me, you know, like one time I went to a friend's baby shower and all my girlfriends were calling each other, this is terrible, but we were like, oh my God, we're all so late and we can't find parking. And then we realized, like, there's certain people that don't inspire energy to get somewhere.
Yeah.
They just don't have it. And she is one of them. No one wants to be there. No one, even the people that are going don't get there. The people that are there don't want to be there. It's like she doesn't have it.
You know what? She is the personification of a sigh. Like, if a sigh, if you know how God breathed, they say God breathed life into mud, and that's how we got Adam. If God sighed into
you got
mud,
Teddy?
you would just have Teddy being like, "Here's your yoga mat."
She is just the worst.
I wanted to know for sure. Those people that showed up at her meditation retreat, besides Housewives, those were extras, paid extras, correct?
It had to have been, right? Like, I just don't.
Who would have gone to that? And there was nothing special. It's like you do like 3 hours of meditation, 2 hours of yoga, and get a massage. Like,
and
what
like
makes
one
this
boxing
special?
lesson. What the fuck is this? And she was spending all the time with those other women.
And then at the end,
with the Housewives.
At the end, they were like, "Do you want one sad fajita?" Like, I was just like, "What is?" This was $17,000 per person.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
It's so
it was
crazy.
Awful. Awful.
If someone went to that, I would love for them to contact us. I would love to know if someone went. I just want to know, like, just reach out and touch someone.
Well, she took action against us when we tried to like read her program. Someone contacted us with her program, and we heard from her some representation.
Oh no! Wait.
Yeah,
so
it's actually the only person who's ever like called and tried to clamp down on us. Is like Teddy's workout secrets.
Huh.
Which are basically, as we've seen her say, which are like work out and don't eat. Like those are the secrets.
Those are the secrets.
Technically works.
It was a little wild when Dorit was just saying to Kyle, like, "You're obviously a lesbian if you sleep in the same bed with your friend."
Came out of left field.
That's,
I was like, wait,
that's
what?
poor people energy where you're just like, I'm going to just say this thing because we're all here. None of this makes sense. She's like, y'all are gay, huh? Like, I like that.
So
and Kyle just crying.
It's just it's a different read, and I'm seeing it all, and I like what I'm seeing. I'm liking what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
me too. And Kyle was wild this episode. Like, she was so emotional. Like, something else is going on with Kyle, because I was like, why does she give a shit if Dorit I think maybe it was a respect thing because Kyle's like, I've been here the longest. I'm an OG. I show up on time. I have to fucking get here. Get your ass here. I think it was more about like the respect.
Well, that's why it's like, this is your job to be at this fucking terrible retreat and you still can't get there. Like that. What does that say? You're being paid to be there.
But the counter argument then becomes they're doing literally nothing but relaxing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mom wants to show up late.
She did spend like 3 hours on hair and makeup, obviously. Dorit did.
But that's Kyle too? I mean,
I know. Kyle put herself together for sure.
Yeah. I think Kyle is having feelings that now that I'm hearing you talk, Yassir, she's having feelings that Dorit is like putting in the time and the work to turn out the looks. And she knows with that weird, like feathered half shirt and that bouffant and Lisa Rinna's bouffant and Sutton's bouffant, it's just not happening for them.
Oh, by the way, Sutton, just real quick.
Please.
Sutton is
in Sutton.
Oh my God. She is just like, did you just find your way here from like a small church where you were kind of interesting? Like you were the interesting person because you have more than 3 colors on your loose blouse? Like, why is she allowed to be there? Like, Kyle's got personality. She's got fire. You know, Garcelle, Lisa, Denise, we know why they're there. They're established stars. Dorit's a psychopath. Erica Jane, you know, banging that corpse.
They're all offering.
They all have
banging that corpse.
Sutton. I was like, okay. Like when she first showed up, I was like, okay, oh, clearly someone, you know, like just let someone wander on and gave them like a name card and like they're here. But when she started talking, like each time she talked, if I were one of the other cast members, I'd be like, no. Stop, Sutton. You know what I mean?
Awful.
Yeah.
And she brings nothing but like low energy and I don't care about her money. She's so fucking tacky. Like I think they thought her money was going to give us all we needed. And it's like, I don't care.
No, it's not enough. Yeah. What we have found on The Real Housewives.
Money's not enough.
Money is not enough.
Not even close.
Or as the Countess would say, money can't buy a class.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't buy her anything. It's literally like,
because I notice her legs are as thin as toothpicks.
Look, here's the thing. I didn't want to say anything, but she very much has SpongeBob body. And like
look, we're in the void now.
We're in the weeds. We're in the weeds a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we knew we would get here.
We knew we would get here.
Not so fast, but we got here.
Wait, that is the truth.
Who is with Max? I forgot.
Oh, that's in VP. That's in Vanderpump.
Oh, that's No, is it was his name not Max?
Mauricio?
No, Mauricio. And then remember, Mauricio is compared to Homegirl's husband.
That other guy, Teddy's husband. What's his name? I wonder if it is Max. It might be. I don't know.
It's like something weird and annoying.
Oh, okay. For some
Edgar?
Edwin. And he's so boring too.
So boring. And he has here's the thing. All the guys on the show are doing something that I really hate, which is, you know, they don't have style. You know, they don't have taste. You know that they don't have any real interest. So they all chose one thing that they're like, this is going to be my thing. Like Mauricio, like, I mean, I know his story already, but in this episode, his is like, I'm going to wear this jacket, you know?
Yeah.
And then Teddy's husband was just like, this haircut glasses combo, people are going to be talking about this. And I was just like, get off the screen. I want to kick you in the ribs. I was so annoyed.
I'm going to say something a little bit nasty.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a little nasty, but her husband has a face that is so long that I've never seen something so long. Like it just goes on and on. It never ends.
Yeah.
His face never ends.
Because here's the thing. It gives him, you're like, is he short with a long face, or is his face really long and he's 6'4" and it just compresses him into like a Sutton-like body?
We'll never know.
We'll never know. We gotta meet him.
We gotta, please no. Should we take a break and come back? Well, you seem very, okay. Well, we'll come back with Beverly Hills, but you've got a lot to say about the Vanderpump guys, so we'll close out with that.
I can't wait.
We're back. We're back with New York City. I mean, Yassir, what are your hot takes on these gals?
Okay, so then this was hard, right? Because I kept mixing up the names. So there's Dorit, and then there's Dorinda, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Very different people.
Yeah, very different people.
Different
but when I literally made sure I was like looking at like cast sheets so I could try and like kind of get it together. Barely.
Wow. Family. Like,
yeah. All of them birthed from Lisa Vanderpump, who apparently is only like 43 years old, which was
what?
No. I read an article that I saw her age, and I was just like, she's way younger than I thought. Anyway, Dorinda in the episode that the one that I watched, it's like, I'm gonna just go check out my old brownstone. That was my humble beginnings in this gate that I put in, and I was like, that is a $90 billion house on the Upper West Side. Here's the thing: my problem with Dorinda is that Megan Rapinoe, or Rapinoe, however you say her last, this famous soccer player, already has that look. Like, that's her look. From the jump. We've never not known her for short, dope blonde hair, slick back, thin neck, a pronounced nose. The fact that Dorinda thought that she could just like slide in and be like, oh yeah, no, this is also me. It's like, no.
And the way she's wearing it is like, oh, this has always been me.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
it's not like, here's my new look. It's like, here's my old look.
And we're like, and then it's like that thing when like people show up with like a bandage on their nose because they got nose surgery, and we all have to be like, oh, your eyebrows look great. And it's like, we want to talk about the nose job.
Right, but it's like, don't implicate me in this and make me have to tell this lie with you.
Exactly. And that's what I don't...
Yeah, and you resent that.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't like... Because there's a lot of people that do that. Like, remember when guys were, like, wearing, like, wide-brim fedoras for a while?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I feel like it's still happening.
It's still happening, but...
On Vanderpump, it's definitely still happening.
But we all know that came from, like, essentially, like, 3 actors. It was, like, Johnny Depp, like Michael B. Jordan, and like one other, right?
Yeah, but now it's just trickled down to like those new Starbuckses that are called, what is it, like Bistro Starbucks? Or like, there's one in our neighborhood where they have to wear fedoras. God.
They have to wear fedoras at the Bistro Starbucks?
Yeah, it's not called Bistro. It's called like, there's like an elevated version of Starbucks, which is like a cooler one. And there's one in Sherman Oaks as well.
That is number one. That sounds like truly hell on earth. The idea that you have to be like, okay, I have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to make coffee for people, but first I have to put on my big fedora
and my gross grain,
apron.
Apron.
Do you go apron then fedora, or do you go?
Oh, I think you have to go apron then fedora.
You gotta. What if it's a wide neck? What if it's a wide neck apron? And you do fedora, and then just
those fedoras. I feel like those fedoras like hurt them when they're trying to get really close to, to get their wraps going.
Yeah.
I do think in the time of Corona, a fedora is probably a great idea. It keeps people away.
No, but I feel like, because here's the thing is that I feel like any other time you're wearing a hat, like people know, like, all right, this is my space. I'm wearing my ball cap, 6 inches, whatever. But with like a big fedora, it feels like you have to tilt it back to talk to people, and then you're more exposed.
I'm going to say something. Anyone that's not in a ball cap, to me, is mentally ill. Like, if you're wearing a hat that's not a ball cap, there is something amiss.
Oh, okay, hold on.
What about in a sun? What about in a sun
I guess
situation?
a sun hat is okay.
What about a
You're
beanie?
Just like, I'm going to add a hat to this.
Not a beanie.
Okay. If it's for weather, okay. But if you're just like, I'm in a normal outfit on like a normal day and I'm going to add a hat to this for fashion, it's like something is going on that's bumping up against like your spirit in a wrong way.
Oh my God.
It's true.
Wow.
Well, you do need to talk about Chelsea about this, because it's truly, because I don't have like a ton of hats, but I have like a ball.
Sorry,
a
I
few
didn't know
ball
I was
caps.
among.
No.
Among the hat.
A ball cap, I'm great with.
But then I also have beanies, and then I mean, my hair's longer right now, but like, every once in a while, I would just throw on a newsboy cap. And like people are like, no, but I love them. I love.
What about? I've been watching the Jordan documentary, and there's a lot of beret work and kangle work going on.
I love a beret. I love a backwards kangle. Like I like. What about like a bandana or a scarf?
A bandana is a tough look to rock.
I'll send you pics.
A scarf on a woman I love. I'll take a bandana. It's just the like fedora look, like the wide brimmed. It just and you know what? I don't want to offend my guests. Let's move on.
I just imagine a guy at home or a woman at home listening to y'all, and then just slowly taking their hat off.
No. Look, these opinions would change week from week. I think everybody knows. We have a lot of strong opinions, and people have texted and emailed and said, "How dare you say this thing?" And I say to you, "You're right. How dare I?" And yet I will continue to dare.
Well, I will. But last thing, it is something. Where it again, it's like what I was just saying. It's when you don't have anything else a little bit, right? It's just like I know people will talk about
I felt
hat.
it was in that same ballpark.
Yes. Yeah.
Same with like a crazy hairdo.
I see. That's what. There's a guy on our street who like has
I don't mean like fun and inventive. I mean just like when it's so out there, it's like your signature. Yeah.
Well, and I've said this on the podcast before. I have the same feeling about classic cars. Like that's
what do you mean?
like you're saying it's a hat. I'm saying if you have a classic car, what's wrong with
you?
Right,
like a Jay Leno kind of thing.
Like like you're fixing it up. You're in your garage. Like go pay attention to your family. Like why is I've said this isn't new on this podcast, but but that's the equivalent of a hat. Like you are deciding this is your personality.
This is
you are deciding this is who I am, and this is what's going to make me stick out. I'm going to tool down the road in this like 1930s car, and it's like no.
I have been guilty of like shopping for a winter coat and being like, maybe I'm the person that has like a funky jacket.
Oh,
like
what does that even mean?
Just like a fun jacket. Like I've been in that area, and it doesn't.
What's a fun
jacket?
That
like stands out, and everyone's like, "There's that cool jacket."
Oh, wow! There goes loud Casey.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, she's like, Okay.
Well, wait. Can I throw in one last thing? Sorry.
Please.
Okay.
To your hat, to your classic car, I throw in
Let's offend more people
adults who love Halloween. It's like
I hear you. I'm right there with you. What are you doing?
Dweeby monster.
Dorky.
You. Like, just, you can just dress like that whenever you want as an adult at this, you know what I mean? Like, you'll look like a psycho, but like, you can always wear costumes. No one's stopping you.
Yes, I totally agree. And I'm like, okay, if you want to do a couple's, I will allow this. If you want to do a couple's costume or a family costume, I'll kind of allow, but don't be so excited about it.
I mean it sincerely. You can dress up in a costume till you're 15, and then you can do costumes again when you have kids. That's it. Right. Nothing in between. Even couples costumes with no kids
upsetting
would drive off a cliff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
We have a thing where we happen to have a bunch of like costumes as actors and performers. We have a costume closet, of course. But so when we always buy our daughter a costume and then try and meet the theme with what we have in that closet already. We don't buy anything new for ourselves.
Yeah, you're like, hey,
we try and find.
But that's you have a child. That's so different. If childless and you guys were looking at each other like, let's dig in the closet, let's get this detective and
Nobody loves Halloween more than Heidi Klum, and I find it also very upsetting.
Second thing I need to say, rich people should have to cap their costumes at like $20. Like Heidi Klum showing up with like full Terminator, like metal skeleton explode. It's like,
and
that's
we're
not
all supposed
fair.
to be like, whoa, Heidi, you did it again. It's like you have some of like the greatest living makeup artists working
ever.
You have like Hollywood makeup artists who do this for a living, and you're paying. Like, of course you look like the Terminator. It's not hard.
It's so insane to me. Sorry, I just had to throw that in. Same thing with like adults who are like The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like, okay, go watch like The Kite Runner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are your options.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. I just don't like seeing a glint in people's eye about Halloween.
Oh my God, where they're just like, oh, you're gonna want to see this, and it's like, I absolutely do not. I
yeah, and
absolutely do not want to see
it's a
this.
big time for people to get their humor out there.
Yeah.
And I always said, like, it's truly okay if you're not funny, but where there is shame is thinking you're funny when you're not.
Ooh. The tragedy of a Halloween costume that men and women both do, where they just take a t-shirt and write like, I'm a unicorn. I'm like, I will stab you to death in front of everyone that loves you if you show up, if you wear that
I will
seriously.
say though, our we do every year for...
Seems like, Danielle, you do keep wanting to break up some examples of good costume work.
Look, I'm just trying to be real.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yes, and I agree. So, and this is not just to like defend our platform, but we've done these Halloween shows, and to see grown people dress like these housewives and dress like as their accessories and dress as like their embryos. There have been some dark costumes that have made
that
me laugh.
really
It was like, this feels like the appropriate
laugh.
time, like you say, for Andy Cohen cosplay.
Yes. That's what it is. It's Andy Cohen cosplay. It's not like it's the perfect time.
It's the only time I've felt like lifted by Halloween.
Oh yeah, it's a real joy. That's a joy. Now, something that did not lift me and did not make me laugh was French David Schwimmer's stand-up comedy.
Oh,
Jacques.
Okay. So here's my other thing. I truly feel like if you're not...
Your new podcast should be called Here's My Other Thing. You've got a lot of other things.
Okay, truly like Rodney Dangerfield and like Joan Rivers' resurgence aside, no one should get into comedy after like 23 or 24. After that, it's like you are a loser straight up.
Wow.
And French David Schwimmer up there. What was it? Gotham? No.
I don't know where
where that slide was, but
just je m'appelle my, yeah, like whatever. It's just like you, number one, like you're not even connecting with us language wise. I don't mean that to be rude, but you know what I mean? And like the fact that Luann, Countess?
Yeah.
Luann?
Yes, Luann. Mm-hmm.
Was so excited to be like, comedy's coming your way. Like playing the...
Well, she thinks she's funny because she has like some dudes like writing her a joke every once in a while. But that's what
it truly, when people, like when older people get into comedy, it's more tragic than them becoming a drug addict to me. Truly. I'm like, you want people...
Yeah, like there's different ways to go down the drain.
It's like when someone starts smoking like in their 30s and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, why are you...
Right.
What's happening? Like, you're smoking now?
Because in your 30s when you start smoking, it's like the cool factor is gone and you're just like a smelly old person.
And you know that it will kill you. Like, it's so...
Right.
I will say, and look, we've known Jacques from way back now. Like when he used to date Luann. And never did he give an inkling that there was humor to be found in his body and mind.
He has like he has a job as a wine whatever.
Yeah,
to say
he's
to
a
yourself
sommelier
suddenly,
right?
to have the confidence to say I can make this leap at this age is so crazy. Like Tracy Morgan is the only one that has been able to do that past the age of like 36.
Right.
That's
like,
it.
It's
once in a lifetime.
Because also, at the beginning of the episode, there was a perfect setup for a joke where she plays the Giovanni song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was just, he could have easily just delivered like a, who's Giovanni, right? Just very punchy. But he couldn't even do it then. He couldn't even, in a perfect moment, to just do it. Not even a joke. Just an inflection piece.
Yeah.
He couldn't do it. But then...
He's not funny.
He's not funny. But the tragedy, I think, is Luann laughed, which is how those people keep going, right?
Okay, but here's what was going on between him and Luann at that lunch. There was a lot of false things that were happening there. He was like, you're not an alcoholic, you can drink. And she was like, and you're funny.
Right. Ooh.
And it was like an exchange
people
of
lying to
lies.
themselves.
Yeah, that's really, there was like a social contract of like, we're all in on each other's falsehoods.
Yeah.
And then when she did take that drink, 2 drinks at the end, I felt a collective sigh of relief from all the other women. Like, finally, she's one of us. Like, she is not above us anymore. Like, there was still something that kept her like, oh, look, she's really doing this. She's getting her life together.
I feel like Dorinda was so making so many, like, she's fine. Because obviously Dorinda struggles with alcoholism. It was just so, it's like that. What a dangerous thing. It is fine if someone wants to drink and there's nothing you can do about it. But to almost egg your friend on who's like been somewhat sober for 2 years is just like really fucked up.
Right. Well, especially because she started by saying, like, I think I'm ready, which means you're not. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm taking it day by day.
Yeah.
You're taking it second by second.
Yeah.
Which there's absolutely no shame in it. It's like, but then for your friends to like go so hard in the other direction is just so irresponsible.
Yeah, it was, I will say, like, I was like, oh, man, this part's a bummer.
It's a bummer.
It's a bummer.
It was a tough
And then
part.
all of them going back to drinking. Luann going back to drinking. Leah going back to drink. Like, just all of it is really...
I did like the scene between Ramona and Leah in the car. And
I felt so much love towards Ramona. For a woman that I
seen
feel
her
is...
lucid and ever.
And warm.
Ever.
Like, it made me feel vulnerable, and that scares me because Ramona will hurt us and Leah.
Yeah, she is a sociopath. What do you think of Leah, Yassir?
Wait, you have to remind me which one Leah is.
She's like the one whose mom was upset with her because she was drinking. She was very beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not... To pretend that she left, like, a mark on me is, like, a lie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I was...
No, we're not going to lie anymore today. Yeah.
I'm not going to... Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
On my Gervais, I'm just going to keep it real.
Yeah.
No. But I think that, like, I mean, you know, Countess Luann has been around forever. So she's, like, you know, she's an institution. So I knew her. Is Tinsley New York?
Yeah.
Yes, Tinsley is New York. Tinsley is the one that
with her
did Fashion
right,
Week
yes.
and her...
I think I'm all in on Tinsley. That's who I think
yeah. She's the greatest.
I hate Dorinda. Love Tinsley. Countess, like, you know what's weird is Countess weirdly reminds me of, even though, again, from Georgia, there's something very Georgia, like, art gallery about her. Because it doesn't feel like real New York money. It feels like money made somewhere else that got to New York and it's just like kind of trying to stay in it.
It wasn't a straight shot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Right.
I mean, it was never her money. She's from like
right,
Pennsylvania, like that. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like, but like from. And
I
she
like the way you're
herself.
seeing through what we see. It's like I kind of sometimes will hook into their like emotional intentions, and you're hooking into like their financial past.
Right. Yeah.
That's the lens you're seeing things through, and I appreciate
it. And maybe this is number one, something that has come through my breakthrough in therapy is that I despise like rich culture. I found out like I'm not into it and I don't like the people that like play into it, and not like being successful. Being successful is different than being rich to me, you know.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm neither.
Right. Shut up. But I will say that like, because these people are just rich, you know, and like I think that when I hook into something that's like, oh, actually, you're still poor inside. You're like festering. You're filled with like emotionally filled with flaming hot Cheetos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many poor scars in your psyche that you haven't healed. That's what I like.
I'm sorry, dude. That's what I like. I thought you were going to say that's what I'm like responding to or triggered by, but that's what you like.
Yeah, I like it because I respond to it.
Yes.
You are like Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs when he's like, Clarice, you're just a little like poor country girl whose daddy took her out to see the lambs screaming. You're just like getting to them.
Yes.
Really getting
like to their pain spot.
Can I
and, like,
say something?
Pushing a finger into
no
it.
greater compliment than being compared to Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. I'm with it.
He was a genius. He was genius.
It's weird. No, I was going to say, because you said the thesis overall is like, we want to be young. And I do think that's true for New York as well. But I do think money plays a lot more of a role in New York. And like, who had it, who used to be married into it, who got it this way, who's doing it on their own, who wasn't like arm candy. There's just a lot going on there.
I'll give you that. Because,
but of course they want to be young as well too.
Right. But I will say, by very nature of the cities, there is elegance, I guess, is kind of the word for New York, like an old fashioned, like, feels, whereas Beverly Hills.
In Beverly Hills, age is a commodity more than in New York.
Right.
Like age is how you sell yourself. Like, you're young and your beauty, that is your money.
Right.
That is how you spend that money of being young and beautiful. Where in New York, you can still be a little older, sophisticated, but money and power and who is a little more of the New York way.
Yeah. It feels New York feels more legacy than Beverly Hills does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, the other thing, when watching Beverly Hills, I personally feel like Kyle is the only one who, like, is doing it the right way looks wise.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like she's like very Gwyneth Paltrow, where it's like she's doing all the things to stay young, but she's not overboard on stage. You know what I mean? Like, and this isn't meant, it's actually
she's
meant
still
as a
doing
compliment.
some things. Yeah.
She's doing things.
Yeah, she's
but you're not like,
things.
that's someone trying to look 19. You're like, oh, that's someone who's just trying to look good.
Yeah, pretty woman. Yeah.
So yeah. I like her for that.
That's nice to hear a compliment, Yassir.
We haven't heard one. Back to New York and Tinsley and Dale. I love that we got another scene of Dale basking in the glory that was Tinsley's short stint down a runway. Like, she's still
basking. And Danielle, maybe this would be a good time just to put it back in people's minds, to read a quick little scene. Yassir, if you don't mind, I'm sorry, you'll have to just...
thank God we're doing it.
We wanted to go back to the text before we get into Tinsley and Dale's reminiscing about the fashion show that Tinsley was in, the very 2-second walk. But this was the scene from last week between Dale and Tinsley backstage as Tinsley was about to go out and relaunch herself as an it girl in the fashion show, in the fashion world.
Casey will be playing Tinsley. I will be playing Dale.
Okay, great. Oh my God, I love the dress. Oh my God. So neat.
Big hair, big skirt.
I love it.
It's been 10 years since you've been doing things like this.
I know.
And I'm so happy that you're back doing them. Don't make me cry right now. I can't cry right now.
No, I can't cry right now. I cannot. Like, I literally have to compartmentalize this and just take this. Like, I have to. Okay, like, I want to feel confident and just be all there and just be here and stuff. Okay, please, mommy.
I'm gonna be quiet, okay? But you look like yourself again, and that's what made me cry.
Mommy, stop! Mommy, please! I can't cry right now. I'm gonna mess up my makeup. Mommy,
sorry,
stop.
I don't want to.
Stop.
What's wrong with what's wrong with us?
Stop, Mommy. I think there's a lot wrong with us.
So much wrong. So much wrong.
Wow, beautiful.
That was great.
The quick scene. That is them every single time they come together. Reminiscing about the past that Tinsley doesn't have, and then immediately shifting the subject to why she doesn't have kids.
And then Dale also living vicariously through the past that Tinsley no longer has. So it's really Dale being like, we don't have this anymore. I don't have this anymore.
This is just my 2 cents on it. Casey, breathwork in that. Phenomenal.
Bless you.
And I
got a little southern at a point. Yeah.
Danielle, though the listeners can't see, you're wearing a sleeveless white shirt.
Yeah.
And with that southern accent was just magnifique. I was like, oh, I'm in it for real. These are pros.
Wow. I brought my Atlanta girl to the table.
Oh, I love, but a good husk. I love that.
Good husk.
Good vocal husk.
And I do want to tease something, Danielle. I'm working on a little ditty as Tinsley. I've just become obsessed with her, as you know.
I know.
And I'll be treating everyone to that next week.
I remember your song stylings of her earlier, of a few years ago when you did The Little Mermaid about Tinsley.
A part of your world,
something about her has always resonated with you, and I can't wait to see what song stylings you bring to us next week.
Thank you, Danielle. It's an unlikely gal to get in my heart, and I seem to want to get in her psyche. Even though there's nothing there, I connect. So that'll be next week. Looking forward to it. That's
I love when an artist tells me she's working on a project. It's very exciting.
It's marinating, you know. I don't think there's anything else except, that was an incredibly tough scene when Sonia drove out to wherever to hear that her fashion line has
New
not
Jersey?
made money in its 5th year.
To have to, why couldn't that be a phone call? She had to come out to New Jersey to be told that not a single person bought from her fashion show.
The way that scene was crafted, the question, she's like, okay, well, that was, of course, 2014. He's like, well, we didn't make anything. She's like, okay, but in 2015, he's like, nothing. She's like, right. But then 2016, nothing. Okay. She's like, 2017 was our big nothing. 2000, and then she's like, did anyone buy anything from the fashion show? And he's like, no.
That was so tough.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, he said we have sold between 300 and 500 units. 300 and 500 was a big spread.
Yeah. So I'd be like, 4? You sold 4?
So that guy's putting out all the money because she kept being like, I know you can weather this. He's
the investor. I believe he's the investor. The man behind the woman, I believe.
Oh, that was very upsetting. Well, shall we take a break and come back with Vanderpump?
Yes, please.
We're back. Yassir, just unleashed.
Yeah, it's what you've been waiting for.
You've been waiting for this.
Vanderpump Rules. Oh my God. Okay. So we've hit on this idea of clinging to youth, which is clearly prevalent in Vanderpump. We've discussed finances and money and using that as a way to elevate your station in life or your perception in society. I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
Okay.
On any show in the history of televised programming, no show has an uglier group of men than Vanderpump Rules. There's not a show. Every man on Vanderpump Rules looks like an old bottle of lotion at a dollar store. They are the most disgusting, repulsive pieces of trash. And I know that it's easy to be like, Jax at least is funny because he's crossed over into pop culture. He is disgusting. Mm-hmm. He looks like, this is going to sound harsh.
No, please hold back now.
Yeah.
He looks like gout. He looks like
yeah, he does. Personified.
You know what I mean? It's just this jaundiced
puffy,
it's
puffy.
He should technically be buff, but he's not. He's just this bloated mess where it's he's wearing a V-neck shirt and it's wait, I didn't know they still made those. And there's always a little patch of sweat in the center of his chest in the shirts. He's one of those guys where it's just maybe I should wear a rosary as jewelry. And it's that's not what they're made for. You know what I mean? He wears those terrible jeans that look like motorcycle pants with the knee patches in them. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. So he is just a yellow-eyed, the whites of his eyes are yellow, so it's yellow and blue, I guess, which is a disgusting combo. Brittany is his wife.
Yeah.
Brittany, I hate this for her because she's just a townie who thinks she's done well for herself, and it's you should have just married the mechanic Reed back in Kentucky. You should have just married Reed the mechanic.
And Reed is with the second, the runner up at the homecoming dance, and they're fine, but he would have treated Brittany so right.
Truly, she would have been a queen in Lexington. You know what I'm saying? A queen. And now it's just I know they have Jax and Brittany Take Kentucky or whatever. I haven't seen it. But my point being is that now she's going back as this kind of piece of trash where she could have just been there and been a respected part of the community. I know it sounds crazy.
No, I know.
Like, you know what I mean?
And
like,
now it's like, oh, it's kind of cool you're on TV for like 5 minutes, but you then have to spend 23 hours and 54 minutes with a monster.
Right, exactly.
And she will
like,
have
Jax,
a baby with him, and then there's no getting out of this.
There's no getting out. And like Jax did that thing where, and this really, as someone who's like just experienced people with mental health illnesses and issues and all that stuff, and I think we all have, he does that thing where I do think he actually is battling something.
A drug addiction.
But I also think it's exacerbated by drugs and alcohol, and he's blaming it on like a mental health thing and then being like, sorry, I sent you those texts. You can still come to my party. And it's just like the idea of a 40-year-old man running around a pop-up shop at a farmer's market being like, you can't come to my party. You can't come to my party. It's
bro, I'm not cleaning up the beach with you.
Yeah.
Bro, you cleaning up the beach is stupid.
And like Ariana's always depressed.
Taking six cars, that defeats the purpose. And it's just like, okay, weirdly, that kind of makes a point.
Make a little sense, but like...
And did I want to watch them clean up 2 cups on a beach because it was the cleanest beach that ever was? No.
See, that's the issue. He wouldn't have had a point. He lucked out that they went to a clean beach. But had they gone to a trashy beach, he would have been completely wrong. And I don't like the dude who clearly is supposed to be the one we're told is the hot dude, Brad.
Yeah,
with the hair in his face.
So gross to me.
He's disgusting, and he's tall, and again his thing is hair, so it's kind of just like, oh, the curls, yeah, I didn't even know, I just like I showed up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, number one, die. That's my first thing to you, is die. Okay. My number 2 thing to you is that you knew oh my god, Sheena
Shea,
yeah,
the most
Sheena
tragic character in television history.
No, I disagree,
and
we'll go into it in a second. I love Sheena because she did what dudes do. And I love that. She was like, hey, I'm shooting a music video. Do you want to be the guy in it? And then at the end of it, she was like, do you want a blowjob? Like, it's so crazy.
It made me so upset. It made me so upset.
It's so funny to be like, drive to Palm Springs. Like, here's why he's in it. Like, here's why he's trash. Because no one is like, drive to Palm Springs to be in my free music video where we simulate sex, but we're also just gonna hang out afterwards. It's like, stop, dude. You knew what was coming.
Don't try to make her look bad.
Well, he did it. He wasn't really upset. He did it in front of Dana to make her look bad.
Right.
He did it to make Sheena look bad. And that's what was so awesome.
But then he was acting like he's like, it came out of nowhere. It's like, but you drove to do a music video where you were simulating sex. Like, that's what you said yes to.
Yeah. No one has ever been... the idea of, like, dry humping someone for 7.5 hours while your friend shoots it on an iPhone and then a blowjob is offered, it feels like that is probably the most logical way that scenario ends. Like, if someone was like, and then no one tried to hook up with each other, I'd be like, oh, did one of you have coronavirus? Like, you know? But, like, otherwise... Someone should offer to have sex with the other one. So he's 100%. Ugly. He's ugly and disgusting. Jack's clearly ugly and disgusting.
What would you say if I told you,
Yassir,
that I am attracted to Jax?
But your tastes are so weird. They're so weird.
Yeah.
But here's what I would say, and I mean it sincerely. Mm-hmm. I think that, like, and this is dark, I think there's an abuse factor that someone would be attracted to him, where they're like, I was abused, I'm into Jax.
No, I was...
Like, you know what I mean? I know you... No, I know you weren't. I'm saying, though, that would be my go-to. So I wouldn't be like... I wouldn't be like, it's completely out of left field. I'd be like, oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Yours may not be abuse. There is a tragedy that brings you to Jax.
Yes. There is a mental health issue that brings me to Jax.
Yeah.
The tragedy that brings you to Jax. Oh my God.
There is an open wound that brings a woman to Jax.
Yeah.
Right, you're not just going to Jax.
You're not well-adjusted. No. You're not healthy if you're going to
something
Jax.
Something has transpired.
Right.
Yes, it might not be physical or mental abuse, but it's something. It could be something.
It's something very dark.
when someone is running from something and they get lost in a forest and then they happen upon a cabin with a guy that's just been living there by himself?
Yeah.
The metaphor is Jax is the man in the cabin.
Wow.
And the woman was running from a tragedy.
Wow.
And the woods brought her to Jax.
Okay, wow.
You're getting into some deep, dark place.
Jack saying, when he did that strange monologue where he was like, I'm sorry, I'm just going through stuff. Like I eat a ton and then I gain 30 pounds and then I got to just take it off with Adderall. Okay. Oof. He's like, that's his journey, his cycle. It's like, this about me. And it all clicked into place. Like, oh, he's an Adderall head. And Adderall to me is one of the darkest drugs there is.
Yeah.
Like it makes you so angry. It makes him even more depressed. I'm not talking about like if you actually need it. Something strikes me about Jax, like he's doing it for weight loss and like it's just fucking him up.
Yeah. Well, also he did it in a way that like exonerates himself that I really don't like. But he also did that thing where he was about to cry and then didn't, and I was like, oh, he's a monster. like he knew he was at his breaking point and still was like, but I'm good. And I was like, oh, Brittany's in trouble.
Oh, she's in real trouble.
She's in trouble. And they're right, whoever said it, like now that the wedding's over, like Jax is going to descend into just madness of not being the center of attention, and he's going
Well, I think he's going to get her pregnant to get them the center of attention. Like it's all going to be about the year leading up to her baby and like all that, and then the real trouble begins.
Yeah, because you throw a baby into that marriage, it's the most stressful thing possible. It will be hell.
It truly feels like, and I could be wrong, but it truly, a child coming into that relationship would being like having one parent who like you totally get, and then the other parent literally can't speak your language.
Yeah.
Like they like truly don't speak you have no commonalities. Like it feels like Brittany when she has a baby. I mean, like also she seems like an empathetic, kind of normal person. Yeah. As normal as you can be in that situation.
With a huge gaping wound, yes.
Right. But Jax, like, it would truly just be like an alien crash landing in your living room and being like, I'm your dad! Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel so bad for that child. And, like, they're just going to be raised around with, like, two parents that are like, oh, this feather tattoo means infinity. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh
my God.
But they're all ugly. The little British DJ guy.
I'm attracted to him.
James.
You are?
Oh yeah.
Are y'all kidding or no?
No, she's not. She's very attracted
dead serious.
To James. Okay. Here's what I'll say. Because at this point I just need to talk about everyone's looks.
Okay.
He looks like if the mold broke of a Mr. Potato Head and like it came out as like a brick, but the ears stayed the same size. Like he's just this mess of organs that is somehow stumbling through life. He is disgusting, Casey. He is disgusting. And then like he's dating. Wait, who's his?
Raquel.
Raquel,
who like
is so dumb.
Apparently, just had a lobotomy at some point. Like
I don't know that there was ever something there. I think it's always been
there.
Gone.
It was scary. He was like, "Oh, I get to DJ again, Raquel," and she was like, "Oh my god, wow, that's so great." Oh, wow,
she's like, "Does the Pope drink rosé on the balcony?"
Like that, I was like, come on. Like, did someone dare you to say that? Like, it's starting to feel like that thing where it's like they're all young and cool, and I'm like, am I just getting too old and like young people really don't know this stuff? Or like, are they playing it?
Jax is older than you.
I know, which is so funny. He also did the clinging to you thing where he was just like, I'm gonna and you guys know I'm a sneakerhead, which is also in and of itself.
I did want to ask you about that shop.
Yes,
for losers.
No,
it is a little bit.
No, men just don't have enough like accessories necessarily that they can make their thing.
But that's the thing is, it's like hats for dudes go out the window very quickly.
I think sneakers is a fun, acceptable.
But and
I like your jewelry.
See, thank you. But jewelry is a it's a universal, right? We all know gold is cool. We all know silver is cool. Like sneakers, what I'll say, especially in this pandemic quarantine world, you're kind of just like, oh, it is kind of just garbage a little bit.
What Jack said
scraps of rubber and fabric.
Right, exactly. That you try to keep clean by literally walking on the ground. It's the stupidest thing imaginable.
Let me ask you a question. So does one keep a the tag on their sneakers? Is that cool? Is that what it...
No, because here's the thing. Because at first I was like, wait, because I was like, he was wearing the off-white ones, right? Which come with their own tag. But he was just keeping, if I remember correctly, just the tags on them, right? Like regular tags.
I think so. I could not figure it out. And
because when I saw it, because I was like, there's the designer ones that you do keep tags on. There's like, they come with like a zip tie, if you guys know what off-white is, clearly. But like, he wasn't talking about that. And I was just like, and that's why I'm glad that guy was just like, no one does this. But also it's a very old guy thing to do, to be like, I'm going to take my sneakers to get cleaned. You know, like.
What about that case for them? Did you feel jealous of that?
Okay, let me be real with you. So Pharrell has a company, Billionaire Boys Club, and they did a capsule collection with that bag company, because it also, the one I have doubles as a carry-on piece of luggage. There's Velcro slats that you put in that you can take out for clothes, or you can put the slats in and then you separate your shoes.
Okay, that's nice.
So mine, I have it, but I have the better version. And I needed to preface with that.
So you have it. That's
what
all
I'm
we
trying to
need
get
hear
is I have the bag. I have the
you
bag.
have it. Okay. Got it. You have it.
I would also like to point out something special happened this episode, something we don't get every episode,
Yes.
and I was very excited about it, which was a Max Vanderpump sighting.
Yes.
Just very quickly, Lisa Vanderpump's son, who we never hear from and is never in her posts, her family posts. It was good. I mean, of course, he was bussing a table and she was ordering him around, but...
Well, when Lisa was like, I look after James, the DJ, more than my own son, I was like, because she likes James better. Mm-hmm. Like, I think she does. I think that's true. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to go back, but when Jax's credit card was declined, now I have been there so many times in my life, I can't even tell you. Like, I used to have all these like pat responses. It's a ton of like, oh, that one just got canceled. This one always happens to me. Like, I would have so much like, oh my God, my sister and I don't even have a sister. But like, I would make it so complicated. Like, we share one and she took the other, like all this nonsense. So I empathize, but like, there was something just so dark about it. I don't know why. It's like he just spent so much money on this huge wedding and he's here getting his sneakers cleaned. I don't know. It's like,
here's what I'll say is that because that sneaker cleaning place, if I remember correctly, is on Melrose. And
if I remember correctly, it's 2743.
Was it really? Oh, I was like, oh my God. But then I realized you were making fun of me, and that's also cool. But I live pretty close to it. I work there.
Great. Oh, yeah.
You guys need to shut up. I work there. But in all seriousness, when he was there, I was like, oh, if that's the place on Melrose, that makes sense because every sneaker place on Melrose, cards get declined because so much fraud happens. So that's where my mind went initially. Okay. So I was like, oh, he may actually just be doing fine, but like...
But he did say this happens all the time.
Right.
And it's still, I do get a lot of fraud. Yeah. So I'll allow that.
But Melrose in particular, bad.
Can I ask, I just wanted your opinion on Dana, the blonde that was like with the kind of thing in her chin, like she's in the midst of the love triangle.
Yes, so there's a perfect segue because I wanted to talk about Ugly Homeboy. That's Max.
Max. Yes.
Max. Yeah.
There's a different Max. Yeah.
Okay.
Max, but yes, Max. That's this Max. The beach cleanup Max.
I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but like some men, weight doesn't matter. Wear shirt at the beach. Max is one of those guys. Nipples way too close together. Like that weird skinny guy with the love handles thing. Like a tuft of chest hair. Like,
right.
How did he get to be the hot player guy? Like, I don't see that.
It's such a piece of miscasting.
I was looking at him like, oh, no. This guy's like, I think the best way to describe him would be like a melted Laffy Taffy. Like, that someone put arms on and there was like, talk.
And said, go clean up a beach.
Go clean up a beach for 3 hours with
and give
the
a speech in front. Like, fine, you're doing a beach club, but bring everybody together and be like, guys, beach has always meant a lot to me. So, like, having to feel like
when he said that, Danielle, I could not believe it. He's like, the beach really means a lot to me because, I've grown up here. And then he goes, so it's really important that, because, I swim in it. Yeah. It was like, we're cleaning up because he swims in it. It was shockingly selfish. Yeah.
But it's also like, you don't get to do that when the two places you're talking about are San Diego and LA beaches. Like, if he was like, I grew up in Kauai and God has given us the gift of nature and beaches, we are polluting. It's like he essentially grew up in a Chipotle. You know what I mean? And he's being like, beaches mean a lot to me. Yeah. It's like, no, you don't get to do that.
No,
sorry,
it felt
buddy.
very produced to me. Like, we gotta get something for Max. Max, something you like? The beach?
But
speaking of a cause that didn't make sense, I'm sorry to go back to New York, but it did make me laugh that comedy thing was for like prison
7 things,
reform and bullying. Like to put 2 charities together for an event where 30 people have bought a ticket is just so insane.
But also, I mean this. The weirdest thing to me is like, hey, we're gonna do a charity against bullying by going to comedy, which is literally nothing but bullying.
Yeah, no,
like
you're right.
We all know that like no one is funny unless they're making fun of someone.
It's impossible. Why you've been brilliant on our show today.
Truly. You think if I came in here with, any sort of objectivity about people's looks or
no.
Right. No, you came in with a point of view and some devastating ones, but I loved every single second of it.
I appreciated everyone.
Wait, last thing about Danielle?
Absolutely.
Because then it wraps up. No, that's the girl Max is into.
Dana.
Sorry.
I was like, about me? Are we going after me?
Just so you know, Yassir, she is also a stand-up, not a joke. Go on.
Dana is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now this makes a lot more sense. But she and Max, the reason why, and then Brad, the reason why that's the triangle.
Brett, yeah.
Wait, what was her name?
Brett is his name. It doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter.
No, I want to get his name right because I want to set him aflame. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. He hears this.
The reason that they are the triangle is because they've all read one book.
What's that book?
No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They've all just been like, have you read a book before? And they're like, yeah, I've read a book. And then because of that, they're all like, oh, wait, we all should like bang each other. And like, they're actually not smart. No. None of them are attractive. None of them are remotely interesting. But they've all been like, oh, yeah, no. I read the corrections. And someone's like, oh, really? I read the Virgin Suicides. And then another person went, oh my God, I just finished the funniest collection of essays from Candace Bushnell.
Who had the Candace Bushnell?
What a third one. I couldn't have picked out that third one.
Going?
If you gave me 100 years in a room. Is it going to
be Cheever? Like, where are we going with these?
I worked at a used bookstore, so I had to, I picked 3.
You really did. Yeah. You really pulled.
I know. There are lots of different shelves, different sections.
Yeah.
Wow. Yassir Lester, you are a delight. You are currently on Black Monday. You wrote for Black Monday. You also wrote on Black AF, which I am loving.
It's a psychotic show, and I love it.
I love it.
I will also say that you're a dream of a person, and as many hard-hitting opinions as you have on the show,
you're actually like
you're
the sweetest guy
I've ever encountered. You guys,
you really are. This man sent me Gucci slides.
Oh my God!
Yes.
What?
It was for her birthday.
Yes, like beach slides for my birthday.
Is, Danielle.
Well, no, but I will say.
But you're like the most generous person.
If Yassir even like senses that I'm having a bad day or something, because Yassir and I have been working together on and off for many years, he just texts me. He's like, everything okay? Like, just
you mean a lot
a dream of a.
You really
like
are
a good, lovely friend and human, and I adore him.
And is there anything else you want to plug? Any shows you're doing in the quarantine?
Your podcast with your brother?
Oh yeah, me and my brother have a podcast called My Brother Sneaker. You can find it Apple, Spotify. And I'll say this, you guys doing that at the end and saying like, oh, I'm like actually a nice guy and a sweetheart, totally feels like when someone kills 40 people and their neighbor is like, they're so nice.
No.
I never noticed anything weird.
We never saw a thing. I mean, sometimes there was a weird smell from his house, but he was such a good guy.
He was really nice.
Yeah, I
Our
just want
listeners
people
are like, this guy is objectively a monster.
No, we got people think you're hilarious.
No, we needed your opinions. Again, we're in a void. You brought light within darkness.
And will we turn on you
laugh.
in a second if it is not appreciated?
We will. You know, we always are free to issue apologies after your.
Okay.
We'll issue.
Next time, you have
apologies.
to let me come on, and you have to do the apology while looking at me.
I can't do
I
that.
would not be able to.
No, that won't happen.
I will not tell you about it.
I can't even look at you right now on the Zoom when we had to make an apology for your comments about redheads. I mean, I can't even imagine what we'll be apologizing for. You are the best. Thank you for doing this.
I adore you.
Y'all are the best.
We
Thank
love you, Yassir
me.
Lester. You're the best.
And my birthday, January 1st. Bye.
Bye, Yassir.
Bye.
Thank you.